Speaking of fish, let's talk about other wildlife, as apparently you guys are still tweeting right now. Twitter currently, as we have a question for us. If heroes like Urel, Diablo, and Deckard are so strong, why aren't the HGC Europe teams banning them more often?
I mean, there's a couple of reasons for it. First of all, we actually see a fair amount of bans against Diablo and also against Urel. It depends very much so on the map and which teams are playing.
Yep.
For example, if you're on Dragonshire against Dignitas, Urel is banned out a lot. Diablo sees a lot of bans. I could have totally seen Diablo banned out on Infernal Shrines. But it's just that other heroes are oftentimes perceived to be more annoying and having more of an impact, so that it's even harder to play around them.
Yeah.
Maiev, for example, is really high up on the list. Depending on which team you go up against, Hammer is really far on the top because no one really wants to deal with Hammer in that situation. Whereas with the other heroes, like they got Kayn and also Diablo and Urel, it's oftentimes a question of, can you get all of them or do you just pull them apart? And if you pull them apart, then it's easier to deal with it. The main problem with Urel and Diablo is simply that Urel adds additional armor to Diablo's already insane hit point pool, and then also has a peel tool where the Sheik just can create space for him to walk away, and that makes the combo incredibly difficult to deal with. So, yeah, we see bans against them, but some teams just don't respect it. But I mean, you can see it in this series. Fnatic lets it through once.
Yeah.
Say like, okay, it's fine, we can deal with it.
We can do this. We're fine. We're good.
Pretty much immediately get a reality check, and then they're like, okay, we kind of need to adjust something here.
I mean, we have to talk about the heroes that are being banned out over these. I mean, you look at Medivh, right? You look at Abathur. These are heroes that fundamentally change the way that you play the game. I mean, you look at a team like Method, and when they have Medivh, they look unstoppable. They get the engagements they want. They have the protection that they want, so that becomes a warranted ban. And suddenly you only have 3 more slots. Next thing you know, you have an Abathur you have to ban out because he changes the global map pressure and bleeds into the late game enough to where it's like, okay, this is a frustrating hero to play against. So now you've lost 50% of your bans already, and then you can start to go down targeted bans, take out heroes that are important. So you're seeing these heroes that are the cream of the crop, but the reason why they're so strong is because they're such a good foundation to build upon. And most teams are okay with that because that's a game that you're trying to perfect, and that's why you're seeing them continue to be played. Also,
another aspect to some of the heroes that find themselves in a position that is true for Diablo to an extent, but it was even true for others. There are a couple of heroes in the game. If they win really hard. That's like one of the, like a perfect example for that we don't see reflected in competitive play at all, but that you see pop up in Hero League a lot, is, for example,
Asmodean?
I was going for Butcher, because Butcher is one of the heroes. When Butcher loses, he loses hard because he has no stacks, he does add nothing. But if you have a game where a team, for example, feeds you a couple of kills in the early game and all of a sudden you have a quest completed, you dominate that.
Yeah, I mean, this hero's impossible to kill.
And to an extent, that's true for something like Diablo, because you can apply the same principle to an extent. If you are in a situation where you're fully stacked up, your team is slightly in the lead, and you just go into these fights where no one can touch you because you have a high hit point pool, you get the armor from Urel, you get heals behind you, tough to deal with you. If you, on the other hand, are on the losing side and the early game hasn't really gone your way, you're maybe at 1-2 levels behind or a talent behind, and you don't have souls, then all of a sudden you become this weak kitty that tries to get something done in the fight, and you just get hammered in the ground the entire time. So then we end up in games where someone dies 5-6 times. So that's one of the aspects to it, to an extent. I mean, not trying to compare Butcher to Diablo here, but the principle behind the two comparison applies a little bit.
The only thing I got out of that is now I want a kitty cat Diablo skin. That's what I want.
Every single time we talk about cats, the one thing that I'm really, and Fnatic is playing, the one thing that I am really disappointed in is the way that we talked about this.
Take a breath. Are you okay?
It's maddening.
What are you upset about?
You know that he and his girlfriend, they got a cat, right? We talked about that.
And no, I didn't know that.
Okay, so they got a cat, and he actually like asked, "What should I name my cat?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Duh, Misha. Hello." It's like not even talking about. They named her Light. I was like, "The hell are you doing? Light? Really? How lame is that? That's a Misha right there. That's not even a question."
Kadar, I'm going to disagree with you, man.
Dude,
Misha is not an appropriate name for a kitty cat, a fluffy cat that you pet and love on. Does not equal the fearsomeness that you get from a bear that carries a half ogre, half giant, or whatever he is, half orc. It's not the same. Light is a perfect name for a kitty cat. And it's cute.
Sometimes I just don't respect you.
That's fair.
It's like, dude, like, really? It's the perfect opportunity. Misha, it was right there. It was right there.
Could have been alright.
By the way, we have Diablo banned out, so question answered already. Again, we talked about a couple of times why you wouldn't ban or why you would address it in a different way, but now one of those power picks banned out. Also, one of the reasons why it's banned out by Fnatic now compared to the last game, we have now the first ban, first pick reversed. So Fnatic now, they had first ban and first pick in the last game, and they picked Diablo on the first slot. This time they have second pick, so they are giving up, or they are banning out Diablo because they feel that Leftovers would even prioritize that potentially as an early ban. So instead, Leftovers go for Muradin, but they still have now Deckard, Kayn, and Urel. So it's more or less the same combo, but with a different tank. But it's not as oppressive as it is with Diablo. Still a strong start for Leftovers.
Now, with that all being said, as we continue to go throughout this draft, thank you for that question. If you have any more, literally anybody, we do not mind answering questions like that. Please feel free, anytime, even Dread and Jayhao, I'm sure they're willing to answer questions as well. Hit us up. We are here to teach you. We want you to enjoy the HGC. What are you?
You know how that sounded? It sounded like, even Dread and Jayhao, if you guys want to know something, if you want us to explain to you how this works, please let us know. We are willing to.
I was just saying I'm speaking for them. They're not here, but I'm pretty sure they would be down to answer your questions.
The follow-up explained it, but at first when you said, I was like, wait, what? I was like, that's slightly condescending, Tim.
Oh my gosh.
You are edgy today.
Yeah, if I've offended anyone, I apologize. Just throwing it out there. Jayhao, Dread, I love you guys. Don't worry. Anywho, thank you for the question.
You saved it on the follow-up, but yeah, you're absolutely right. If there's there we have that ETC again. We'd had that in the series with Method earlier. Now again, the thought process behind the ETC pick is of course that you can peel very easily for your team. So ETC, like right now ETC suffers in comparison to Diablo and Muradin from a lower hit point pool. He's easier to just simply burn down, and it's harder for him to set plays up compared to them. But he has great peel, and that was for the longest time his biggest asset, especially when we are talking about the double support hyper carry meta that existed for a long time. One of the best tanks was ETC because he added, in addition to the double support, an element of creating space for your backliner, where with face melt you can just really make sure that no one gets close enough. And now we're in a situation where that's something that Breeze is going to try and provide for Ana, for Li Ming, and for Hanzo here in Cursed Hollow. So this will be an interesting game, I feel, because you have a triple melee setup, Muradin, Thrall, Urel against you. It's not impossible as ETC, but you can't make any missteps.
You can't burn important cooldowns. If you burn important cooldown, you're done.
If you step out of position, if you go a little bit too far in or anything, you are getting burned down. But they play around Ana again, and it's again a setup with a sleep into a power slide, for example, and then a Li Ming combo following it up, a Hanzara coming out. Yeah. There's a lot of potential there, for sure, but they need a good setup for it.
I mean, there's also the ability for ETC to move in with the power slide, have Dahaka come in with a drag afterwards, and then you can use that knockback for a way for you to escape. Meanwhile, the rest of your team is turning around and focusing the target that has been initially picked there by ETC. So definitely worthy, something that can happen here, but again, our ETC, I'm still criticizing the ETC a little bit. I'm not quite fully sold on him. We got a one good win from Method on him, but let's go into this match here with Fnatic.
I'm sold on this one a bit more with what they're playing. But yeah, let's head into the game. Game number 4 as we are going into our match here with Ling currently playing Deckard Kayn on the left side here for the Leftovers. Le Kidney playing on Thrall. Poryboss is playing Urel. Mopsio, of course, on Muradin. And DAB again on Phoenix.
On the right side, Fnatic currently up 2-1 at the moment. Mene playing Li Ming, Breeze on ETC, Smexy on Ana, Schwimpy on Hanzo, and Last Hope back on his boy, Dahaka.
Yeah, doing well on Dahaka again in the game earlier. I mean, they lost that game, but that was definitely not on him. He performed well on Towers of Doom. But now Leftovers are, of course, down in this series, and that's something that they are pretty used to going up against Fnatic again. First time those two faced off in Phase 2. Leftovers went down 0-2, and then were able to win 3 in a row. Would love to show a similar performance here today, where they now take 2 games one after another. But Fnatic has other plans. Let's see if they can pull them off here. They want to take this with a 3-1 victory.
Gonna be keeping an eye on Schwimpy, man. The element of just moving into a scatter arrow build on this battleground is just so much that you have to be paying attention to. Leftovers are going to be aware of this, though. It is completely implied that if anyone ever does get picked off, Hanzo will be moving in for that boss play, and with the control from ETC and Dahaka, it should be enough. So we'll keep an eye on that. The leftovers will have to make sure they play careful around that. I would love to see how they handle these tribute phases too. Do they look to trade out? Are they looking for a little bit more experience, especially with that global factor for Fnatic? Are they going to try and force a fight? A lot of things available for them in the early game.
Smexy is going to try and set up those quests again with Ana, as we said before, on Battlefield of Eternity. It's important for him to get those quest stacks so that he can have the extra range and hit a second target. Super important also to stay safe later on in that game. That's something that he will have to try and do, currently sitting on 1. So ideally he has someone to help him out with stuns to set that up, but it's a bit more difficult for Fnatic this time to help him here, since there is no Murden for them that can use the Storm Ball to set things up here. Instead it's Breeze with ETC, and that Power Slide is at the same time also his disengage tool, or one of the disengage tools, so he needs to be a bit cautious.
Giants grab for both of our teams here. Been seeing a little bit earlier in the night camp timings for a lot of teams, but since the leftovers have peeled off only one member, they grab the Giants here on the top left. You don't really have that Merc Shredder on the side of the leftovers, where as on Fnatic's side, when you hit that level 4, you'll have Hanzo that can peel off and get help from one member to work on the night camp. In fact, Shwimpy's actually starting to set up for that, it looks like. He's actually soaking his middle lane for that 4. You should see him peel off soon to attempt to do that. Actually, he might go top lane and put some damage on Urel.
Yeah, they're already on the way here, and you can at least help with that camp.
Yeah. Wants to clear that out too. And that will allow for them to contest that bottom tribute. I actually like that outplay, just getting rid of the Giants as quickly as possible.
Mobster is immediately there. I really like how fluid these teams are, both in terms of rotations on the map, that they're always mirroring rotations, that you never quite know, okay, where is my target, where is Murden, for example. It makes it difficult for Fnatic to go anywhere. And Murden is just like sitting there, hoping for a rotation to come, which is not the case here right now. But it's just plays like these. Muradin doesn't really give you that wave clear anyway, so instead he's just anchoring plays, trying to see if he can maybe set something up here. Again, DAB coming in, Breeze pushing them away. The biggest advantage of ETC is that face melt.
Smexy with the raw dart. Gosh, this feels good. When you're able to toss him out, get to sleep. Working on that stack right now, sitting at a total of 4. And now it's tribute time. Urel will be sharking between the top and the middle lane, trying to soak ETC, soaking what he can. Delayed a little bit, but want to get to the last minion of experience.
Yeah, good hit there. Breeze is looking for that setup. Quest on Thrall completed, so the double chain lightning right now, super important for him. Can easily poke against that. Mena needs to be careful because Mopsy is already sitting in the back here, waiting for an opportunity to drop that Storm Bolt. And Smexy, of course, wants to have a few more sleeping darts in. So far, he connected 4. He needs 6 more for the first quest.
Murden is just living this back line. I'm just staring at him, waiting for to drop that Storm Bolt. That's one of the strengths that you can have as a Murden player, as you just walk towards your opponent, just straight up dot the W, try to make them over juke a little bit, get some auto text in, and eventually deliver that Storm Bolt. But that allows your team to move in, and leftovers follow up.
Breeze, actually, nice interrupt here again from Hanzo, and Breeze dodging out on a lot of these CCs that came out of leftovers with the Storm Bolt and the Frostwolf trying to connect here. Also the Feral Wolf, but yeah, they are currently going straight for that, and no interrupt, even with the Scatter Arrow. Link confirms the first tribute. I
looked like a hit.
Swear that hit.
Yeah,
that looked like it went through him.
That whizzed by his nostril. Decker Kane smelled that arrow. He's like, ooh, did you oil that? It smells nice.
I'm trying to come up with a dumb joke, but I just can't. There's like nothing. I got nothing.
No, it's okay. Decker Kane, DAB already working on this night camp. First tribute over to the leftovers. Experience a little bit over towards Fnatic, having that Dahaka was helpful there.
Slight adjustment, by the way, on level 7 now from Smexy, going into temporary blindness. So you're also blinded after the sleep dart effect wear off.
You're looking for Thrall or Phoenix on that one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in particular.
I guess anyone, right? Even if you hit
to be honest, later on, once that Murden completes his quest talent, then it's also really cool against him, since he doesn't get as much out of his cooldown reduction as he wanted. But mostly, yeah, the auto attackers are, of course, what you're looking for.
Skullcracker also online for Murden.
He really likes that talent.
We've been seeing that a little bit here and there, mixed in for a few of our teams.
Previous series, too, when we had, I think the Monkeys always started to spec into that whenever Rimmer Baller had that. But yeah, so getting those interrupts, it's definitely another... It can be a great tool, especially if you feel you're not really dependent on the damage output. Then having those mini stuns is great.
Second tribute spawns in the favor of the leftovers. If they can control this bush, they should be able to set up for it. Dahaka is dealing with the Giants that have been grabbed by leftovers already. Link will begin the channel. I'm going to see whether or not Last Hope is attempting to come in here and fight this. He'll be the indicator of whether or not Fnatic actually wants to attempt to take this.
They're very likely to give this one up. It's on the wrong side of the map for them. And Fnatic's gameplay the entire time here is basically, boys, give up tributes, but delay it for as long as you can and gain value through the global. That's the game plan here. So what they want to do is, once that the level 10 hits for them, they want to go for the third tribute. And oh, Muradin, you are a bit in trouble here. Not quite a kill here for Fnatic, but a lot of damage put onto the front liner for leftovers.
Full combo coming out, even dropping the grenade as well to deny any healing from Muradin.
8 stacks by now for Smexy, so 2 more for the quest. But nearly level 10. So this is really the level 10 that ideally would be so far ahead that you can take up an easy tribute. But it's not quite there. So Fnatic is actually in a spot where they will have to fight for the third tribute against an opponent that will also have level 10. So it's, in theory, could even be a curse for leftovers. Again, with Dahaka in an ideal world, the thought process is get so far ahead that once the third tribute spawns, you have the 10 level, they don't, and then play around the fourth tribute. Arrow, slide, combo, and even the mosh pit. Better safe than sorry play here from Fnatic. Could have gotten the kill without it, but that was just them playing it safe, and they're trying to go for more.
Trying another one. Wave of Force was used on Polyboss to try and knock him into Li Ming. Mopsio is attempting to escape. Maybe one more arrow will come out, but no kill on him.
When Shrimpy missed the last shot, he immediately moved away. He immediately said, like, okay, forget it. It's not happening.
Good call.
Yeah.
Tribute will be the next focus. Fnatic already setting up for Dahaka here on the right, but he is a little separated from his teammates.
Yeah, Leftovers is back with 5 on the map. But Thrall isn't here yet. And here comes the power slide. Deckard Kane, yeah, the seal is there, but that might not be enough. Out comes the damage. Mena is low, and he falls. Engage into the backline. Fnatic getting a little bit complacent after that kill, and now they will lose 2, and they're gonna get cursed.
They were so late to that tribute. It had been up for a long duration, floating around the middle.
Again, they got greedy. They get the kill against a Thrall, and then they say like, okay, we got this, and then they just like buy, like, they were trying to go for another kill, they don't get it, then they lollygag around a little bit in the middle, and they rotate really late. They didn't expect anyone to attempt to interrupt this, so Fnatic definitely misplaying that quite a bit, but they get the kill against Phoenix.
Gosh, I love this combo watching it.
It's awesome, right?
Dragon's Arrow straight into a sleep, straight into the power slide, knockback into a grenade, so no heal comes out. And we have an immediate kill on top of Phoenix and a follow-up into Muradin.
But we have 2 forts fall.
Yes, that is the trade-off here. The experience jumping up. Fort in the bottom should be getting cleaned up. So when you were talking about, the middle one took a little bit of damage as well. And Polyboss continues to soak up too. So they will jump up in experience and still have that lead. But with 2 kills, Fnatic is able to move over and start working on a boss.
And also they will get a lot of the experience back because that lane experience isn't lost to them. They had Reese on the top lane and they're having Dahaka at the bottom now. So those double waves that we've seen there, they are going to be grabbed by Fnatic, and that will put them on nearly the same level again in XP. Boss at the bot lane is now being attacked here. Top is already taken. So at least leftovers can react to that. But yeah, Fnatic lost infrastructure, but in experience, that was a pretty okay curse for Fnatic. That double kill really helped them to weather the storm quite easily, and they are now on even experience with their opponent.
Yeah, that's the result you see there. And all of the Haka too, who can defend against this boss. Depending on where the next tribute's about to be spawned, it should be showing soon. They grab the Knight Camp to at least help push out that middle lane so they can decide where they want to rotate to. Based on where this tribute is, we should see that 4-man for Fnatic move to. There it is. It's going to be in that bottom left, so they should be able to rotate down and work on that boss. Even grab the Giants, too, for that added DPS.
Yeah, Fnatic is actually going to jump ahead in experience through the fort that is about to fall at the top lane to the boss. And as long as they defend down here easily, there shouldn't really be an issue for them either. But that could have been better. Like, they salvaged the situation really nicely, but they should not have lost that tribute in the first place. It was really them not realizing that leftovers were absolutely willing to still fight for the tribute after the kill, especially since the death timers were so low. So a slight misstep by Fnatic. Could have had big consequences, but didn't because they really relied heavily on the kill combo. And again, it comes down to, we talked about ETC, right? What does he add outside of him just creating the space through his face melt for the backline? And these setups with an arrow into a power slide, into a mosh pit, the CC through the Haka, those are really the plays where they set up kills for Liming, and it is looking fantastic when you can execute it properly.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Is there any other tank that I would want to have with this type of composition? I like that ETC brings that power slide that can hit multiple members if it does land on somebody. I think maybe a new Barak might be another mix-in if you're looking for another type of tank to run with this. You could have the Cocoon afterwards to fall through on it. But so far, I'm loving the ETC, actually, the more I watch this. This is such a cool mix-up and a great way to lock down a target by bringing all your CC together.
ETC is also about to have his quest talent completed. It's actually a bit weird that Breeze didn't stick around in the mid lane for another second to try and get that last glow, but they wanted to have a position for the tribute down here at the bot lane. So they're going for it, but that means he can't rely on it. Slide is in again as Schwimpy is actually being attacked. Smexy helping him out, but we have Liming being destroyed down here. Mena taken apart by Thrall. Lornado comes through, but for now at least Last Hope is dodging out, but this is Nova.
Yeah, he's about to fall. Definitely being taken out. There's that scroll. Leftovers finds another kill, and they'll be able to step up and grab this tribute. Grabbing a bit of experience, too, jumping up to level 16 after they soak a wave here in the middle lane.
Yeah, that didn't really go well for Fnatic. And now they're in a position where they have to play a bit from behind again. And let's not forget, this is the last fort that they have. So Leftovers have now eliminated the outer circle of defense for Fnatic and really opened up the map. Now it's Fnatic that, that Stormbolt came out of left field.
That's a dwarf.
Not expect that at all. Schwimpy gets blindsided.
That's one of those moments where it's like, why are you there? And you're like, wait a minute, you have the entire lane pushed out. You have the watchtower. Wow.
That was great play by Marcio.
Yeah.
Fantastic setup from him.
And that means they can immediately step for the next tribute. That's another stagger death here. Fnatic has their bottom wall completely opened up, and Leftovers is building towards a curse. Now, Fnatic is going to be able to get 16, but they cannot afford any more mistakes or any more plays to happen like that.
It's one of the problems with that comp. Again, we talked about this earlier. If you go up against a heavy melee composition at the front, you can't allow for many mistakes to happen when you play an ETC setup. And that's going to be really, really important.
Arrow.
Arrow. Oh my god, was that the wave?
I think that was the wave. No, that was a knockback from ETC.
Yeah, it was not the wave of force, but they definitely pushed him out of that arrow. That arrow would have connected. And now Breeze is maybe going to fall here, but we have the mosh pit, but he's actually getting away. Wow.
Thrall did get picked off, though. Mene was able to find that kill.
So, yeah, so much happening here. Mene gets the kill. I mean, initially the kill would have happened through the arrow, but then we see that connect, or that pushback, and there was a bit of a sync problem here, but the kill still secured by Mene. But, I mean, sorry, Breeze surviving there? That was amazing. That mosh pit saved him. It allowed him to get the cooldown back, and then he could just simply move out of harm's way. But I did not expect him to live there at all. Like, that mosh pit saved his life.
Things are about to get a little bit hectic, though, for Fnatic, with a curse tribute about to spawn for Leftovers. They also have to consider the boss plays that are available.
Yeah.
They are both now spawning, one in the top right and one in the bottom left in about the next 20 seconds.
Now, they still have the Haka. That's, of course, one of the added advantages being in that situation right now. Now, there might be a question, why do you burn the cooldown on your mosh pit? But it's simply, if you lose ETC there, then you give, again, some map control to Leftovers, and they don't want to do that. Now they can at least set up the top for play. But of course, it is a problem that you still have to wait for your ETC cooldown. It's not a threat to Leftovers, so they don't have to play around the ETC mosh pit any longer, and they can really just go straight up for their CC abilities without having to worry to not have anything in store for the mosh pit. It's only 35 additional seconds, but Leftovers know that right now it just isn't an issue.
Power slide straight to the right. It's going to be landing straight on top of Marcio, who dived in. Last opens around, gets the tongue, but the Lord Nado interrupts.
Yeah, Lornado also blown, and ETC is on 20-second cooldown here. Linked tries to get the channel. Is always starting that. Again, they go for Schwimpy. Salvo, but they won't be able to take him down just yet. The Haka, though, is very, very low, and Linked has started the channel again. This could be another curse.
Linked going for the full channel.
Good interrupt.
Able to get it there. The Sonic Arrow able to connect. Mene tries to siege away from afar. Ana is doing her best to heal everyone up.
Yeah, and now Leftovers have blown all of their cooldowns, and they really have to consider just simply letting this one go. We still have the ETC mosh pit ready, and Fnatic is inching their way forward. Also, the Siege Giant camp at the bot lane does work for them. In comes Mopsio again, gets pushed back right away. Connect. Chang comes in after the sleep. Last hope, though, being attacked here, and so is Breeze. Both of them rather low, moving away, and again the opportunity for Link to go through with the channel, but the tongue is there against Mopsio. He's interrupted for a moment, linked with the channel. That's going to be a curse, but the mosh pit is there. Link abandons the tribute.
He turns around and gives up the Lornado so he can save his teammates and interrupt that mosh pit. Dahaka's burrowed and low on health. Mopsio steps up, goes for the thunderclap, and there we go. Leftovers find a kill. Mana's in the back left trying to find someone that might be low, but there's no one for him to pick off, and Leftovers able to get a kill. And they should be able to work on this tribute.
The sustain on Leftovers is actually crazy, and Linked interrupting his tribute channel to just make sure that that mosh pit doesn't get enough value. Leftovers with a curse against Fnatic. And what a game here again. Mopsio attacked right away. The arrow's a little bit too slow though. The salvo coming through. Mene barely escaping as everyone is starting to homing in for him. Lornado comes in. Breeze escaping at least for now, but Mopsio looks for another Storm Bolt. Here comes the face melt. And just Mene shelling away over and over, getting these combos in. But it is Fnatic who are on the back foot now as the Leftovers have successfully cursed them for the second time in this game.
On the back foot, but still alive, and there's still a good 40 seconds with this curse. Leftover steps up towards his keep in the middle. A power slide in the middle lane, goes straight on top of Boss. Breeze trying to stay alive here. Here comes Last Hope from afar, goes in with the drag, and will find a Thrall.
Yeah, they're going for Mene. Breeze low, and Breeze is extremely low, but he's able to move away. Mene is low, everyone is low. Last Hope is on the run, barely dodging out on a Frostwolf. Great timing by him. Breeze again creating the space here, and they are holding on, at least for now. The Lornado, again, not threatening them too much, but that keep is taking damage in the mid lane. But Fnatic keeping their entire team alive in the fight. I mean, I'm impressed.
It's the same story. They haven't gotten the kill since the middle of the game here, but they keep getting in the fights. Leftover sustains through like crazy. They are full health. They get Fnatic low, but Fnatic is able to just barely back up. And due to them buying so much time, Leftovers was unable to just focus down keeps. And so on the second curse, Fnatic was able to defend all three of their keeps. They're still standing, and they don't have to deal with catapult pressure as they move towards the late game.
I'm worried about that Storm talent, though. Leftovers are so much closer for that. Fnatic with a double camp setup immediately, but we're also going to see that from Leftovers. The boss has already been taken, and they have Thrall now on their camp at the bottom left, as we can see here. So both of the teams, identical plays, mirroring each other. Fnatic wants the 20, but this is a close game. It's a great series, back and forth the entire time on a map 4, which could be the deciding map in this game. We're seeing, again, a very close encounter.
You mentioned you're a bit nervous when it comes to 20, but I'm actually excited because of Repulsion, level 20, for Li Ming. If they can find the CC on one target and then knock them back?
I mean, more so because Leftovers is having it earlier. So there was a chance that Leftovers might try and push with the boss and a level 20 advantage. But yeah, I mean, once level 20 is in for both, should be some great plays here.
Yeah. Well, boss at the top left gets a turret. Shouldn't be able to grab the second one here. Wailing on some damage, but Boss able to kidney it. I'll just leave it alone. Maybe it will fall. No, it gets cleaned up. It's going to be 20 for both of our teams, and as we head to the late game, both have 0 tributes.
Yeah.
It's all about boss control, but with the bosses being taken away, now you just focus.
You know what that means, right?
Dahaka late game just gets a control.
No, I mean that too. Dahaka's late game is going to be also another asset for Fnatic. But it means that Fnatic hasn't taken a single tribute the entire game.
Oh yeah?
Not one.
It does mean that.
Yeah. 6 tributes went over to Leftovers. Fnatic has lost out heavily on the objective, but now we have that situation. Breeze, by the way, with the Bolt of the Storm on level 20. We have also the Nano Infusion. So you also get healed for the spell damage dealt. That should give even more sustain over to Li Ming here. Mene can just absolutely pop off. Contagion is going to be great. Shrimpy still waiting for his to be taken. But yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, bottomless flask. We already talked about the sustain for Leftovers. Now you can set that up around Tribute. But as you said, there's a lot of time. There's like 3 tribute or 0 tributes on both sides. There's still, you can't let a tributor to go.
Dahaka even burrowing in here. Wants to make sure he's here for this first tribute of the game for Fnatic. Might be picked up now. Leftovers aren't even nearby to go for the full interruption. Oh, yes, there is. Mopsio here trying to go for a shark, but he gets caught out of position. Even a mosh pit coming in, and Mopsio
good
destroyed.
Kill. This is one of the things. This is one of the problems that Mopsio has. He is one of the most Oh, nice, getting the stun actually. There's a Breeze trying to go in, but now ETC needs to be careful. They are locking him down really well. And he is still able to move away, but barely. DAB nearly got the kill here. Last Hope is looking for a potential tongue to connect. That nearly backfired against Fnatic.
Yeah, nearly did.
But what I wanted to talk about is you have Mopsio on your team, and Mopsio is right now definitely one of the top tanks in Europe, for sure. But he's also an insanely aggressive tank. He loves to play aggressive. His 16, the Dwarf launch, allowed them to get the kill against Shrimpy earlier when he jumped over the debris and set up that Stormball that Shrimpy just didn't see coming. But it also can sometimes be a bit of a liability where teams know that he's aggressive and they try to catch him. Normally that doesn't work out because he knows how to walk that tightrope, to toe that line and move out.
Yeah,
but
he can raise their edge.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where Fnatic was just like, you know he's going to be here somewhere. When you see him, just go in and put everything on him. If we have to blow our heroic cooldowns on him, doesn't matter. It's worth it. With the death timers this low, us being this late in the game, total value.
Hang on here. Leftovers are wanting to go for last hope. Is he going to play it safe?
I love that last hope moves away.
Yep.
When he started to play for Fnatic, this is one of these things where he would have maybe even been caught. But here he's like, the boys, listen, we don't have vision. Just go back. Just move back. Just wait at the gate and take it from there.
Just buy yourself 10 more seconds, right? Like, just back up. You're good. Were you imitating a siege giant there?
Yep.
It was all right.
I think I nailed it.
Last hope is going to pull in these giants, clear those up. But again, just waiting 10 seconds. If you're in a spot where it's like, I have no idea where my opponents are, and there's no reason for me to get this experience, especially post level 20, why would you step out?
This game is getting really crazy.
Yeah.
I'm loving this. This series is so awesome because it's so close. It's so important for both the teams. There's so much on the line. Fnatic with the lead in this with the 2-1. But look how careful everyone is. Just double-checking bushes, vision, playing around that. Fnatic is even angling now for that tribute. I could have totally seen them let this one go because the position isn't really good for them. And yeah, they're moving away from it even. But Thrall, look at Thrall on the minimap. He's so far up there because he's hiding in a position where he says, I can flank. I can actually flank. I'm so far away. They're not going to try and find me there because they won't expect that. But if they actually set something up and it becomes this stalemate, I can really try and flank in from the side.
My question is when the boss is up. Actually, there it is. Boss comes up now. And that's now become this weird element of anchoring around the boss, making sure your opponent isn't sneaking them.
Look at the Hawkeye bot lane. Great. Pressuring the keep. That's great from Fnatic. Also want to highlight really quickly that we have one quest tunnel that isn't completed yet, and we're talking 23 minutes into the game, and that's the Stormball quest from Mopsio. 24 stacks, needs one more. Vision is there, and the Haka is now starting to be at the bot lane again. There is a tribute, and now you are in this weird situation where Fnatic could curse you, but they also set up for the boss player at the top. So what do you do? Do you try and go for the tribute? Do you go for the Haka here? All right, Purdy boss is already in, and Fnatic immediately makes a snap decision and goes straight for the boss at the top.
Yep, Haka sees that.
And now leftovers need to do the same thing. And we could actually see races for the core now, where you're just trying to break through the keep and go for core. It's a bit of an outlier scenario, but it's definitely in the realm of possibilities.
Especially if there's a giant timing up. No, the giant's actually been taken away for leftovers in the top left.
Yeah, and look at it now. Fnatic is already setting up at the top.
Yep. Leftovers aware of this. A few of them already backing up. Dahaka staying in the watchtower, making sure not to get caught out. He's all about vision right now. They get some damage on top of this keep, and they get this down enough. This boss, if it's able to sneak on through, if they can protect it enough,
I mean,
this
keep is, I mean, it should fall 24 minutes in. And the boss at the bottom lane is going to have a bit of a tougher time, especially if Fnatic moves back. The question for me is simply, is Fnatic going to try and go for core here? This is the big one. It's not about the keep for me here. It's like, how far you're willing to push this. And there's the arrow.
There it is.
The mosh pit hitting one, but gets interrupted immediately. And Fnatic is in trouble. The tornado is doing work. And here comes the salvo. No kill though. Great contagion coming out of the Haka. And the keep is gone. But the keep at the bot lane is also falling. And that boss is going to do damage soon. Fnatic is going for it.
Yeah, Fnatic is winning the race right now. They're getting straight to the core. They'll be on the shields first. The keep will fall on the bottom right. Leftovers' boss is continuing to push. Giants are also there on that keep too. Fnatic is all in. They are pushing in for this core. But look on the back line. Mopsio is able to jump in and put some pressure on top of Schwimpy.
And there goes. ETC is down. And guys, the boss at the other side of the map is about to end the game here. 90% on the core of leftovers, but Fnatic is losing the shields, and that boss is still healthy. Also, Siege Giant Camp at the top just barely defeated. Now the Haka falls. All of a sudden, Fnatic is in an awkward spot where they might lose the game right here. Shrimpy comes back and is trying to defend it, but we have leftovers starting to cross the map.
They're going across the map, and look, it's a curse. Curse here will allow for them to push in the middle lane if they want to, go all the way straight in for the core. It's a 36% core. They may have even just went past this tribute if they wanted to. Merden's on his way now. And now Leftovers can make a play to win the game, and if they grab this victory, which they certainly should, we're going to a game number 5.
Fnatic was trying to pull it off. They were trying to go straight for the top lane with the boss. They had an advantage because they were a little bit quicker, but a perfect engage made it able for the Leftovers to go in. And here comes the salvo attempt. Not hitting too much, just putting a bit of pressure onto Smexy, but that's enough that they can kill here. And they do. Shrimpy falls as well. This is game. Fnatic loses game number 4. The Leftovers push them to the final map.
Fnatic tries to secure the win with an aggressive push in the top lane. ETC gets sectioned off by himself as Hanzo in the back line is jumped on by Mopsio, and they just could not get the damage on top of the core. Fnatic falls at Leftovers, and the series is all tied up. We're going to a game number 5, and it's been a tight one.
Yeah, it definitely has been. Game number 5, and yeah, Fnatic had a lot of really cool moves in this game, but we come back to that composition that very much so hinges on execution and punishes mistakes, or where you get punished for mistakes severely by your opponent. Great play from both teams here, but Leftovers just a bit too powerful, punishing misplays on Fnatic's sides very quickly, setting up great kills with good flanks through the heavy melee setup. The Fnatic just putting it all on a card, pushing through the top lane. And that was really the moment where I was a bit torn, because I think Fnatic's potential to defend is very powerful.
Yeah, Scatter Dahaka can start it off if he wants to. They can decide to back up once everyone comes in.
So I really thought, push the top lane a little bit. Just make sure that you get that keep 100%.
They respawn.
And then once that you see that they are TPing, which you have vision of, move back immediately, try and defend. I could have seen Fnatic actually even hold on to the keep while they have taken the top lane. Didn't work out that way. Fnatic made a call, and then they got by that Lornado pretty much wrecked, and now we're going into game number 5, which is going to make this entire thing, of course, coming down to the wire once more. A little bit of a throwback to the first time these two teams faced.
Exactly.
And for me, it's a question. Who controls Urel? Who controls Diablo? And what is going to be the last map?
Let's find out. Let's go to a commercial break. We'll be right back with game number 5 to see which team will make a statement today on Saturday.